What up, yeah? This your boy Ace here, and welcome to Afternoons Delight. So, I wanted to make this video because tonight is the draft, and I feel like this is the last time I'm going to be able to talk about this before the draft takes place. And I do have my Impact uploads I still have to do this afternoon, so I was wondering if I was going to be able to put this out, but I said, you know what, if I record this now and start rendering it now as well, I can get it up before my Impact video. So that's what I'm going to do. Also, I was inspired by y'all. That's why I love it when you guys post in the comment section, because it gets me inspired to talk about different topics and stuff like that. You guys really motivated me in the comment section, man, because you guys had some really good thoughts on who you think the attackers are and the philosophy behind the attackers and stuff like that. And we got to talk about it. So I said I was going to make this video anyways because I didn't want to go too much into it on the Sol Ruca video where she first got attacked, my first recap video or reaction to it. So let's get into it right now. Some things. And I was going to talk about the draft too, as far as who I think might get drafted tonight. And stuff like that as well. So we'll probably tie that in this video. So first thing I want to talk about, so we know the situation. We know the history. The first one to get attacked in the parking lot was Nikita Lyons, then it was Wendy Choo. The people who found Nikita Lyons was Lyra Valkyrie. I said Valkyrie. Thinking of Taya Valkyrie from AEW. Lyra Valkyria and Indy Hartwell, right? And then the next attack, Wendy Choo, who has returned, by the way. And the reason why Nikita Lyons has returned, because she actually has a real serious injury in real life with the torn Achilles, so she might not be back until late in the year or next year. So that was a way to write her off of TV, but it was a great way to set up this mystery as well. Now, with Wendy Choo's attack, we found Kayden Carter and Katana Chance, who I still believe could be turning heel. Now, when this happened, they were showing signs that they were becoming heels. They had this attitude and cocky attitude to them before they lost the titles to Fallon Henley and Kiana James. And like I said, they were showing some signs that they were going to turn heel, but it never happened. So right now, I don't know what direction they're going to go in, and I don't know if they're going to be drafted. So it's kind of weird with that whole situation. Now, this one is Sol Ruca, and this one did not take place in the parking lot. I was trying to think like what room this was that Sol Ruca got taken into. I was trying to think of like if it was a shower room or a spa room or something like that. But I saw a carpet, I think. So maybe it was like an office or something. I don't know. But she got attacked in there, and the person that found her was Danny Palmer. Now, Danny Palmer hasn't been built up enough to me to be the person who did these attacks. And plus, I don't think it was Danny Palmer because she had on sandals. The person who attacked Sol Ruca, because remember, the Sol Ruca attack is the first time we actually saw the attacker in any light. I mean, we didn't see the face, obviously, but we got a chance to actually see the attack happen. The first two, we just saw the victim, like, kind of in disarray, just getting the beats or whatever. But with this one, it was different. We saw the attack, and we actually saw two clues. So we saw the hood when the person left, and we also got a chance to see the boots. The only two people that have these similar boots right now are Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. Yes, I said it, Roxanne Perez. And that's another reason why I'm making this video, because a lot of this is, we can finally, once the draft is over on Monday, we can finally, like, get a real good feel on who the suspects are. Because right now, we're kind of in a holding pattern because of the draft. We don't know who's getting drafted. So, we're in this weird holding pattern right now. And we're basing a lot of it off of the draft. So, a lot of you guys who might be watching this video, you might be watching it when the draft already took place on SmackDown. Hell, if you're watching this next week, you might be already watching it after the Raw draft took place. So, y'all already know what's happening. But I'm making this before the draft. So, remember that. Whatever I say is before the draft, okay? So, keep that in mind. But a lot of you guys had some really good predictions on this and observations. John Drake was coming in from the angle. It's got to be a babyface. And usually, and what have I said since the Nikita Lyons attack? I said it's got to be a babyface. My top suspect originally was Indy Hartwell, because she was the one that found Nikita Lyons. I didn't never feel like it was Lyra Valkyria. And I don't think they're turning her heel, so I don't see it. I still don't even think it's her right now. But she's still in the suspect list until she's cleared. Cora Jade was always a suspect from the beginning, and she's an obvious suspect because she's one of the top 2 heels to go with Jacy Jayne. That's another person who I don't think it is. I don't think it's Jacy Jayne. It's definitely not Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark could get drafted as well. And she already cleared her name like in the first couple of weeks. It's not Zoe's style. When Zoe attacked Nikita Lyons back in November, she did it in front of everybody. So why would she attack Nikita Lyons again and then try to cover it up? Don't make any sense. It's not her style. Same thing with Tiffany Stratton, another big heel on the roster, another top 3 heel on the roster. She's maybe Alba Fire, Isla Dawn probably go Pat. Well, I don't know. I think y'all let me know. But I put them all in the top 5 of heels on NXT right now for the lady side. Like, I definitely got Tiffany Stratton somewhere in that top 5. And she's another candidate to get drafted because Vic Joseph left us a clue. I talked about this in Indy Hartwell saying the championship video this week, where Vic Joseph actually said on the broadcast that Tiffany Stratton looks up to Trish Stratus, which tells me she might be getting drafted in aligning with Trish Stratus, which is something that I wanted, because when I talked about Trish Stratus needing to join Damage Control or lead them or whatever, or having her own heel stable, I talked about how perfect it'd be to have Tiffany Stratton align with Trish Stratus. So, in my opinion, Tiffany Stratton, I think, is ready to get drafted. Like, I don't think there's... You could keep her in NXT for another year or 2, but in my opinion, this is the perfect time to bring her up. Trish is there. So, that's why I think now is the time to bring her up. And she already cleared her name in this mystery, so... And it's not her style. I don't see Tiffany Stratton doing a backstage attack like that. I don't think that's her style. I think if she did it, I don't think she'd hide it either, just like Zoe Starks. What I'm thinking right now is that it's this. I still think Cora Jade is tied into it. I think she might have not been the one actually attacking people. Like, I don't think she attacked Nikita Lyons. But remember in that before she had the interview with Mackenzie Mitchell, because remember in that scene, Mackenzie Mitchell sent it over to Vic Joseph to send it over to the parking lot scene. And that's where we found Nikita Lyons attacked. Now, with Cora Jade in that scene, I remember before then she was looking at her that baton, or that black stick that she always has. And she was looking at it, and I was like, man, she's looking at it kind of hard, you know, like she just used it on Nikita Lyons. But it could be Cora Jade being a puppeteer, and she's got some puppets, because I still think it's more people involved. I don't think it's just one person. Maybe one person did this particular attack, but the other ones, it might have been 3 different people that did all the attacks. Remember, another suspect is Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley was in the parking lot. Remember, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire they knew she was turning heel too. Like, that was crazy. They knew she was going to turn her back on Ivy Now. That ended up happening. She could be in the mix. She might have been responsible for one of the attacks. She was in the parking lot the night too when Nikita Lyons got attacked. But let's go back to Roxanne Perez and why it could be her. Now, Roxanne Perez just lost a really hard match against Indy Hartwell. It's very possible losing the title is getting to her, you know? And somebody came up with this idea. I can't remember who. And this wasn't on my channel or nothing. This was somebody else. Somebody else came up with the idea of what if Cora Jade, what if Roxanne Perez went to the dark side, started hanging out with Cora Jade again, and is getting influenced by her. And now Cora Jade's kind of pulling the strings. Like, Cora Jade is like what if Cora Jade was like, look, bitch, you can do this. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Because I'm telling you, if you look at Roxanne Perez's boots, They look like the hooded the attacker. But the only problem I got is we know Roxanne Perez is short. This hooded attacker was kind of tall. Like, this hooded attacker looked kind of tall. So I don't know if it was Roxanne, but she be the perfect suspect because she is the most baby face that you could find on the entire roster. There is nobody else who has been built up as this too good to be true nice girl. And in my opinion, it's a baby face. Indy Hartwell probably isn't getting drafted. She still got the title. It could be her as well. I still got her as a suspect. But when you look at the whole roster as a whole, the suspect list is large, but you see a lot of people where it just doesn't make any sense. But you can see a lot of various surprises and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So let's go into the draft portion of the video. Then we're going to wrap this thing up. So let's talk about who we see getting drafted. And this will kind of take out the suspect list, right? So let's go to NXT. Let's go to the NXT roster. And we're just going to go to the main names that they have contracted on the roster right now, right? We're going to go through every female. It's not going to take a long time because I'm not going to really do like an in-depth type of thing. I'm just going to go over everybody except for Alicia Taylor that's on this page. The first one, Alba Fyre. Alba Fyre, definitely a strong chance to get drafted. She is older. I think she needs to get drafted. They should have had... Alba Fyre should have been on the roster this year. I don't even know why Isla Dawn and Alba Fyre got the tag team titles this late. That was kind of stupid. They should have gotten them last year, like late last year. But this ties in the whole Blair Davenport thing because I heard a lot of you guys mentioning Blair Davenport. If she's still going to NXT, like I haven't heard her name in a while, so I don't know what's going on with her. But if she's still tied into it, it could be a plan by Alba Fyre, Isla Dawn. You know, a master plan where Blair Davenport is the one doing the attacks. You know? So Alba Fyre is definitely a suspect. Isla Dawn is too. We haven't gone through Isla Dawn on this list yet, but we're just going to tie her in right now. But any of those three could be drafted, you know? I think they usually don't draft NXT UK people, right? I think that's how it works. Okay. Amari Miller, we haven't seen her in a long time. Kind of irrelevant to this right now, but remember, when you haven't seen people in a long time, those are the perfect suspects. So, she is a suspect. I don't think she's getting drafted, though. Ava Raine. So, they just call her Ava now, the Rock's daughter. She's been a heel, but she's caught up in this schism stuff, so... But she has done backstage. She has done a backstage attack, and that was on Thea Hale this year. Perfect suspect. Is a heel. She's not getting drafted, so she'll be in NXT for a while. Could most definitely be a suspect in this. And she's someone that's an interesting angle if they did run with Ava, because I think Ava should have her own stable like this. She needs to get away from the schism. Either turn her babyface and put her in Chase U, or have her run the schism or something like that. But they need to get away from the whole Joe Gacy thing. It's not working as far as the schism go. Let her lead that group with some females in it or something. I don't know. Let's continue to go down the list because I want to end the video soon. Cora Jade, we just talked about her. High chance she could get drafted too. I don't want her to get drafted. I think she's got too much work to do in NXT. She needs to get the NXT title. I would hate for her to get drafted right now. But if they have big plans for her on the big roster with a heel group, I'm all for it. Because I've been saying I wanted her to run Damage Control. So, in the future. So, that might be in the plans. If that's in the plans, I would love for her to be drafted. But if not, we'll see. Because I know she wrestled in her hometown of Chicago in a dark match this week on Raw. So, it's very possible. Let's continue to go through the list. Elektra Lopez. Now, she's a heel, but I don't see her at all connected with this. I don't see it at all. Like 100%. Don't see it. She's just like Zoe Stark. I think if she did an attack, she wouldn't make it a surprise. Fallon Henley, definitely not. She had so much business going on with Kiana James. There's no way Fallon Henley did this. No way in hell. That's 100%. I'm 100% sure about that. Gigi Dolan, same thing. 100% sure. She was just a heel. Why would they turn her heel right back? Doesn't make any sense. She's a babyface. She's been busy with JC Jane. There's no way she did it. And that's another reason why JC Jane, let's bring her up right now. That's why she hasn't done it either. She's very concentrated on Gigi Dolan. They were just in a super group, so I don't think they're a part of it. Indy Hartwell still could get drafted even with the title, because all Shawn Michaels would have to do is just vacate it, or she could defend it on the main roster. We've seen that happen before, so very possible there. We talked about Isla Dawn. Ivy Now is an interesting one, but since they just turned Tatum Paxley heel, definitely not Ivy Now right now. But if they never did turn Tatum Paxley heel, high suspect right there. We just went over JC James. Let's continue to go down the list. Katana Chance and Katie Carter. Yes, absolutely are suspects. Now, they did win their last match on Level Up, but they were going through a losing streak. They could be frustrated at the amount of losses, losing the tag team titles. Definitely could see this. They could be a part of a whole group picture with this. Drafted, definitely a possibility. I think they should be drafted, and they should be the cornerstones of the tag team division on the lady side. Kiana James, definitely not. She was busy with Fallon Henley and Brooks Jensen. Even though she's a heel, again, she wouldn't hide anything. Last Legend, same thing, just like with Elektra Lopez. It wasn't her. Definitely don't think it was her. Lyra Valkyria is a suspect, but I don't think it was her, but she is a suspect, though. She's not going to get drafted. She just debuted on the roster. Mackenzie Mitchell is a funny one. What a heel turn that'll be. What a heel turn that'll be. Is it possible? You never know. I'm going to throw her name into the hat on the suspect list. She's not getting drafted, but I'm going to throw her heel. Nikita Lyons, who got drafted. Now, Nikita Lyons, listen to me about this one. This is an interesting one. She's not going to get drafted because of her injury, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you why she's a suspect. It might have been nothing that happened to Nikita Lyons. She might have faked the whole thing. She might be turning heel. When she comes back, she's going to reveal that she did everything. And there might be a reason for it. They could do a thing where they had her fake an injury. You know what I mean? Even though she suffered one in real life. I think she's a suspect that you definitely got. Like, I know some of y'all was like, when y'all thought about this, y'all was like, Ace, you going somewhere with this. Keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on, especially if the mystery does not come to fruition until late in the year. Meiko Satomura, hell no, not at all. Like 100%. Meiko Satomura didn't do it. We went over Roxanne Perez, who could get drafted tonight as well. Oh, Meiko Satomura. Let me talk about her draft stats. She could get drafted. Look for her to get drafted. Look for her to get drafted for sure. Sol Ruka, not turning heel anytime soon. It'd make sense if she did it, but she's not going to get drafted. I don't think she set herself up like that. Now, she could be. Now, we saw her actually get attacked, but she could have faked it too, but she's not on my suspect list. Stevie Turner. Interesting. We hadn't seen her in months, right? And she only had like one match. To be honest, I thought she was released quietly. I don't know if it was her, though, but definitely a suspect. Perfect way to actually bring her character in, though, because I'm going to say something about Stevie Turner. She debuted the week after the Nikita Lyons attack, so keep an eye on that. She was around at the time, so high suspect. High suspect, Tatum Paxley, too. I don't think she's going to get drafted. Stevie Turner not going to get drafted either. Tatum Paxley not going to get drafted. I think she's going to have to do her heel run first in NXT. Yeah, she's not going to get drafted, but, you know, she's definitely a high suspect. Thea, hell no. No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. But, well, let me tell you this. Just like Roxanne Perez, it'll be a huge shocker. It'll be a huge shocker. Because it could be tied in. They could have her go the bad route. She leaves Chase U, becomes a heel. You never know. Your boy Ace is telling you, you never know. She's only 19. She's not getting drafted yet. Tiffany Stratton could get drafted tonight easily. We went over her. Could be a possibility. Now, Valentina Flores was in the parking lot with Nikita Lyons. Another one of these baby faces that, remember, they were trying to tease her that she was turning heel, but she never did turn heel with Elektra Lopez. Valentina Flores is an interesting name. She's a suspect to me. She's a suspect. Could get drafted as well. We don't know. Last on the list, Zoe Stark. Definitely probably going to get drafted. Definitely. I actually think she's getting drafted. And she didn't have nothing to do with these attacks. She's not a suspect. Think she's getting drafted either tonight or on Raw. So we went through the whole entire NXT list. of the active wrestlers, the only one that we didn't go through was like Lola Vice and Danny Palmer. I don't think they did it, and they're not getting drafted, but they did not do it. But I think Lola Vice is interesting if she was in the group, if she's going to be in this group, because I think they're definitely kind of teasing us that there's going to be a big heel group coming up. It's either going to be on the main roster or it's going to be on NXT, but they're teasing a big new heel group coming up. So the main name I want you guys to keep an eye on is like Blair Davenport and some other people, but we'll see. We'll see. Give me your thoughts in the comment section. I want to wrap this video up. Enjoy the draft tonight and on Monday. And we'll see. I'll give y'all my thoughts on a new suspect list. We're going to do another suspect list after the draft. And we're going to see who's left, who's on the roster, and we're going to go from there. Again, give me Cora Jade is obviously obvious too. It's going to be great to see what happens at the draft, man, because it's going to tie into this mystery, bro. Let's see what happens. Enjoy the draft. Go ahead and get this video a like before y'all get out of here. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all for watching. After News to Light.